Welcome back. This episode is going to push against some of what modern fitness culture has taught us, and I love that. The dominant message has been that exercise needs to be intense to be valuable. High intensity interval training, heavy weights, pushing to failure, getting your heart rate up. These do have their place, but they're not what your body actually needs at the foundational level. What your body needs at the foundational level is what it evolved with: sustained moderate movement throughout the day. Walking, lots of walking, hours of walking ideally. Modern humans get a fraction of what we evolved with. The average American walks about 3,000 steps daily. Hunter-gatherer populations walked 12 to 15,000 steps daily. The difference is significant, and the cost shows up in nearly every system of the body. So let me walk you through what walking actually does and why it matters for voltage specifically, and how to incorporate enough of it into modern life. So when you walk, several things happen simultaneously that don't happen when you're sitting. Your leg muscles contract rhythmically. This activates what's called the muscle pump, the contraction of muscles around the vein that pushes blood back towards the heart against gravity. Without this pump, blood pools in the legs. This is why you often hear that you should keep your calves strong, work on your calf muscles, because they are part of that pump. And what works on calf muscles besides just doing weightlifting there is, of course, walking. Walking is essentially a continuous circulation assist. Your lymphatic system gets pumped through the same mechanism too. The lymph doesn't have a heart driving it. It relies entirely on muscle contraction and breathing for movement. So sedentary bodies have sluggish lymphatic flow, which means slower waste clearance and slower immune function. Walking moves lymph the way the system evolved to be moved. So you don't really need a rebounder or a Vibe plate, even though I have both of those. You really just need to walk. Your mitochondria respond to the energy demand. Sustained moderate activity activates what we call mitochondrial biogenesis. That's the creation of new mitochondria. This means more cellular energy production capacity over time. And walking, just walking, trains your cells to produce more energy. Your nervous system shifts into a particular mode. Walking activates parasympathetic supportive states alongside the moderate exertion. This is different from the sympathetic dominance of high intensity exercise. So what this means is that walking calms you while energizing you at the same time. Your feet contact the ground rhythmically. If you're walking barefoot, think grounding, or in minimal footwear, this provides bioelectric input to your body. So think about your morning, as we talked about grounding a few episodes ago. Now, if you ground, you go outside for your 20 minutes with your coffee and you walk around your yard while you're grounding, you're doing several things in one 20-minute period. So you don't need to have a ton of time to kind of incorporate all of these things into your life. Okay, so back to walking. Even with shoes, the proprioceptive feedback of walking supports nervous system regulation. Your eyes scan the environment as you move, and this is different from staring at a screen or a page. The eye movement during walking has effects on neural function that we're just beginning to understand. Some of the cognitive benefits of walking come from the eye-brain coordination of movement through space. Your breathing pattern shifts, and walking naturally produces deeper, more rhythmic breathing than sitting. And the breath supports lymphatic flow and parasympathetic activation, and all of these happen at once every time you walk. Sitting does almost none of this. So what does the research show specifically? Walking research is actually one of the most robust areas of exercise science because it's easy to study large populations doing or not doing this basic activity. Studies consistently show that daily walking is associated with reduced all-cause mortality. People who walk regularly live longer than people who don't, and the effect is substantial. Meaningful reductions in death rates from cardiovascular disease, cancer, and other causes. For cognitive function, that applies to me specifically as I age, right? Walking shows benefits across multiple measures: memory, attention, executive function. This effect appears in older populations, specifically suggesting that walking may protect against cognitive decline. For mood and mental health, walking has documented antidepressant effects. The research is good enough that some psychiatrists prescribe walking specifically as part of depression treatment. For metabolic health, walking improves insulin sensitivity, blood sugar regulation, and lipid profiles. The effects are modest but consistent. And for sleep, walking during the day supports better sleep at night, particularly if some of the walking happens in morning sunlight when you're grounding, right? What's notable is that these benefits don't require intense exercise. Moderate paced walking, what's sometimes called comfortable conversational pace, produces most of the documented benefits. You don't need to push your heart rate, you just need to walk. So, how much walking do you actually need? The standard 10,000 steps recommendation is essentially arbitrary. It came from a Japanese pedometer marketing campaign in the 1960s, not from research. The actual research suggests benefits start appearing at lower thresholds. Yay! So roughly speaking, 5,000 to 7,000 steps a day produces meaningful health benefits compared to sedentary baselines. 8,000 to 10,000 steps produces additional benefits, but above 10,000 steps, the benefits continue but diminishing returns. For voltage and foundational health specifically, I'd suggest aiming for 7,000 steps daily, with some of that occurring outside in natural light. More is better up until about 10 or 12,000, but beyond that, you're getting some additional benefit, but the time commitment may be better spent elsewhere. And the distribution matters too. So walking spread across the day is better than concentrated into one session. The cumulative effect of moving every hour or two is different from sitting for 8 hours and then walking for an hour. This is one of the genuine problems of modern office work. 8 hours of sitting can't be fully compensated by an hour of evening exercise. The body needs to move regularly throughout the day, not just intensely one time. So how do you incorporate this into real life? Well, the first principle is that walking needs to be made automatic and frictionless. The more it requires decision and motivation, the less consistent it will be. Morning walking is the highest value time. Combining walking with morning sunlight and grounding gives you 3 voltage interventions in one outing. 20 to 30 minutes outside in the morning, walking on the grass or sidewalk is foundational. Walking after meals is another high value practice. 10 or 15 minutes after eating supports blood sugar regulation and digestion. This has been validated in research. Post-meal walking produces measurable benefits. Okay, how can you do that if you're working in an office? Well, if you have an hour for lunch, take 45 minutes to eat, and then if it's possible, that is, the weather is cooperating, go outside and walk around the building for 15 minutes. It's fine. You can do that. It's simple, right? Phone call walking. You can take phone calls even in an office while walking. This converts time that you would have been sedentary into walking time without adding to your schedule. Walking meetings. If you have remote meetings that don't require screens, walk during them. This converts more sitting time to walking time. And you can do a standing desk if you work from home, perhaps, or if your company is amenable to that, with occasional walking, even better than sitting all day. If you can intersperse standing with regular short walks, you're getting much more movement than typical office workers. Run your errands on foot. If your daily errands are within walking distance, walk them. Many Americans drive distances that would be reasonable to walk. Or you can park further away from where you're going and walk to the store. Don't park at the first spot in the parking lot. The goal is to find ways to integrate walking into life rather than treating it as a separate exercise commitment. 5 short walks of 15 minutes each is better than one walk of an hour, and it's easier to maintain. What about other forms of movement? Well, walking is the foundation. Beyond walking, other movement does have its place. Strength training has real benefits, especially for maintaining muscle mass with age. 2 or 3 sessions per week is plenty for most people. Body weight exercises, dumbbells, or proper gym work all serve the purpose. Flexibility work, stretching, yoga, foam rolling supports the body in ways walking doesn't fully address, particularly for desk workers whose hips and hamstrings tighten from sitting. High intensity exercise, sprints, HIIT, heavy lifting has its place, but isn't necessary for everyone. The research suggests intense exercise has benefits beyond what moderate exercise provides, but also has higher injury risk and isn't necessary for foundational health. For most people, the priority should be daily walking first, with strength training and flexibility work added when walking is established. High intensity exercise can be added if desired, but it isn't essential. Some specific tools that support movement. Vibration plates, yay! I have one and I use it regularly. Standing on a vibration plate for 10 or 15 minutes stimulates muscle activation, supports lymphatic flow, and provides some of the benefits of movement when actual movement isn't possible. It isn't a replacement for walking, but a useful supplement, and that's how I use it. I walk a lot. Rebounders, have one of those too. Small trampolines. Gentle bouncing supports lymphatic flow specifically. Some people prefer rebounding to walking, especially in bad weather or if limited mobility is a problem for you. And I love it because it's just joyful. I do it because it's fun to bounce, right? Treadmills, worth having if weather or schedule prevents outdoor walking. Treadmill walking gives you the movement benefits, even if it loses the sun and grounding benefits. My treadmill recently broke, so I've been doing more outdoor walking and dumbbell work, but treadmills are useful tools when working. Tracking devices. I actually don't use these, but a simple step counter on your phone or a fitness watch can help you see whether you're moving as much as you think. Most people are surprised by how little they walk on typical days. So, practical recommendations to start this week. If you don't currently walk regularly, start with 10 or 15 minutes daily, just walking outside if possible at a comfortable pace. Add a post-meal walk after one meal per day. Even 10 minutes helps. Look at your day and identify one block of time that could be converted from sitting to walking. Phone calls, meetings, errands. Track your steps for a week to see your baseline. Then aim to gradually increase. If you're already walking, look at whether you could distribute it differently. Multiple shorter walks may serve you better than one longer one. The threshold for benefit is low. Even modest increases in walking produce measurable effects. You don't need to become an athlete. You just need to move more than you currently do. Next week, we'll cover breath, specifically how breath practices affect the autonomic nervous system and support voltage. The breath story is interesting because the effects are immediate and you can feel changes within minutes of practice. And the long-term effects are substantial. But for now, walking. Get outside today. Move more than you have been. Your body wants this. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time.